QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021 credit card reconciliation for the months after the first month of reconciliation. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021. Here we are in our bank feeds test file. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the view dropdown, selecting the open windows list. We're now going to be taking a look at the bank reconciliation or credit card reconciliation for the second month of operations, which should be easier given the fact we don't have to deal with the beginning balance issue and due to the fact that we're constructing all of our credit card data directly from the institution, the financial institution. Therefore, our statement should tie out to what we have downloaded. However, we still want to do the reconciliation process to make sure we haven't double recorded anything, deleted anything, or have missed something hadn't been downloaded or something like that. So we're going to go to the reports drop down up top. Company and financial, let's take a look at the balance sheet first. Balance sheet standard, changing the dates up top in the customized reports from 01/01/20 to 12/31/20, and we will then say okay. Going to go down to the credit card information. Here's the credit card information down below, double clicking on that, and there we have it. Now, we reconciled the first month, and that is indicated by this hard check mark, as opposed to the little lightning bolts we saw before, which basically means that we checked them off on the bank feeds, but we haven't yet reconciled them to get the full check mark here. Now, all these items below had the little bank fee, a little Z next to it before, or a little lightning bolt next to it before. It's gone now because I went in there and I fiddled with the bank reconciliation to check it out. So note that item is part of the reconciliation process. It can help you in the reconciling process, but it doesn't mean it's reconciled until you do the reconciliation. You get the hard check here. So you want to still do the reconciliation. So just note that other little symbol was here, and that indicates that we cleared it on the bank feeds. And then when you reconcile, it should change to this check mark here. So let's do that process. I'm going to go to the statement now. So this is going to be our second statement. In the last statement, of course, we had this information. We ended at the balance of $1,300. That's going to be our beginning balance for the next month. And then we have the payments that we made on it, and then the charges, what we bought on the credit card, and then this is going to be the ending balance at that point that we could then make a payment at the end of that process if we so choose to do. Detail then down below for the payments made or other kind of things that paid off the account, like a charge back from somebody. And then we have our information in terms of charges. All right, so let's go back on over, and I'm going to say then, and note, we should get down to basically here. This is where our balance is. Notice it's the 7/18/30. That actually ties out to what's here as of the end date. And so that's because all of our data in our system is tying out exactly to what's on the statement. There is no timing difference, as there will be or could be for a bank reconciliation if we were to do our books separately, where there's uncleared checks and deposits and whatnot. We took our information directly from the bank, so it should tie out. So that's a good indication that our bank reconciliation should be done, should be easy to do here. So I'm going to go to the banking up top. We're going to go to reconcile. We want to say this is going to be a credit card. So we want to have a credit card reconciliation. Now the ending amount, so the beginning amount now ties out, as it didn't before in the first one, because we had that beginning balance issue. Now the beginning balance issue should not be an issue going forward. And then the ending balance is going to be that 7/18/30. So there's the 7/18/30. We'll just continue forward. Okay. And now typically you can hide the information after the date of your ending statement, which is 6/30. I don't need anything after that point in time. So I'm going to hide all the data after that point. And then we can go ahead, and usually you can just simply mark them all off, because again, this data was taken directly from the bank. So I should be able to mark them all off, and it should simply reconcile unless something's wrong, and that's why you're doing this. So if something were wrong, we'd have to unmark them and then check them off one at a time, ticking and tying each of these off. The 537.22, 537.22. We would then go to the 30.48, the 30.48, the 375, the 375, the 30, the 132, and the 199. So 30, 132, and the 99. And then it shows here that it's reconciled by this amount being 0. So that we were done reconciling. Then we want to process the report. It's then going to ask us, hey, there's an outstanding balance. Do you want us to write a check for that? I'm going to say no because I want to do an electronic transfer for it. I'm not going to write the check from QuickBooks here. I'm not going to enter a bill from QuickBooks here so that we'll write the check later. So I'm not going to do either of those. I'm just going to say no, don't do that, please. And then we'll say okay. And then we got our 2 reports that we can print out. Again, these reconciliation reports will be very, not any activity because there's nothing to reconcile, meaning the balance on the statement matches the balance on our books because we built our books from the statement. All we did really was verify the fact that we entered everything. Everything was entered from the statement to our books, and nothing was deleted. Nothing was was entered twice. Basically, that's what we're doing. So no outstanding items, no timing difference, no outstanding checks, because again, we constructed our books directly from that data. So pretty bland reconciliation report here and here. And then if I go back on over, now we got the solid check. The solid check is the reconciliation. So you really want the solid check over here rather than the non-solid check of the reconciling with the bank when you match it out, saying it's cleared with the bank feeds. You still want to reconcile, even though you don't have any outstanding items. Even if you constructed your books from the bank feeds, I would still do the reconciliation, get the hard check here to give you that double check that everything ties out from period to period. If you don't, because you might say, hey, look, I'm doing this as I go, but you really want the hard check from a period to period kind of standpoint. As of this point in time, it ties out to the same number as of this point in time. So that is the second month. Every month after the second month should be just as easy. If we went on to the next month, it should be really easy and straightforward because the beginning balance problem is no longer there, and it should be easy to check everything off going forward.